All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving our praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from, and I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. And today, I just want to go into this clip, that I came across a couple of days, which I found interesting, man. And, before I get started, I'm going to entitle this lesson, A Cunning Hunter, because as we know, that's what Esau Edom is, man. So just to give a brief background, came across this clip, where, women pretty much talked about, the elites and how they, kidnap children and pretty much hunt them down. And what immediately came to mind as soon as I seen this clip, was a movie that came out in March of 2020. It's one of my favorite movies since I've seen it. It's interesting, for brothers that may not have seen it, I encourage you, watch it. It's pretty good. It's called The Hunt, and then pretty much everything, besides, children being in it, that this woman said was in this movie, man. So I'm going to play this clip and then play, the trailer for the movie afterwards. So let's get into it.
Y'all ever heard of hunting parties? Listen to what she's got to say and keep an open mind.
At the hunting parties, they would, they'd have all these expendable children outside in the woods, and usually they have holding grounds, like a tunnel system or something underground where they hold the kids in cages until the time of the hunt. And the hunt usually happens later, once it's dark outside. And so what they'll do is they kind of they'll kind of make a perimeter, which is pretty large, of these woods, and they'll station the different elite people around the perimeter. And then when they give the go, they release the kids, and the kids are told just to run, to hide. And that's when the elite will go through the woods and start hunting for them. When they catch them, a lot of times they will first sexually abuse them, and then they'll kill them. So not everybody will get killed in that situation. If they don't, then they're used for other hunts. But, there were kids that I saw who...
So yeah, man, she's pretty much explaining what the elites do. Because as we know, hundreds of thousands of children, in America, come out missing. And we know as if they're not, being, trafficked, for activity, for satanic ritual abuse or for other things, they're being hunted down, by the elites. So I'm just going to play this clip, the trailer for the movie The Hunt that came out in March of 2020 again. So YouTube, I'm using this, for fair use purposes, solely for education. So play it.
What is happening? What is all of this?
Did you see that article? Every year, these liberal elites kidnap a bunch of normal folks like us and hunt us for sport.
The last I heard, free speech still exists.
Don't First Amendment me.
It wasn't real.
Everybody get out of here!
We were joking.
There's been a killing spree. You gotta come here right now.
You actually believed we were hunting human beings for sport. But you are.
We have an opportunity here to teach these people.
These are not real people. They're actors.
I'm playing an Arab refugee, but I identify as white. I think that's problematic too, in some way.
You wanted it to be real, so you decided it was.
kind of sick people would even think of something like that?
White people. We're the worst.
So yeah, man, as you can see, that movie came out, almost 4 years ago, and pretty much that movie went into everything that woman said, again, minus, it being children, but this is what Esau Edom does, man. So let's get into the scriptures. So I'm going to start in the book of Genesis chapter 25. I'm going to start at verse 25, and it says, "And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment, and they call his name Esau." And yeah, man, as we know, Israelite children, are brown skin. I was going to say dark, but you still say dark because, again, Israelites were different shades of brown. Even, the other nations, every nation of people on this earth is a shade of brown, besides one nation of people, that being the nation of Edom, man. Because that's what Esau's name means, wasted away is he, because, again, he lost his pigment, Verse 26, it says, and after that came out his brother. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And it's the point, verse 27, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. And yeah, man, as you can see, Esau indeed is a cunning hunter, man. This is why he has, these sports stores and all this hunting gear. Because, again, this man, he hunts for sport. And that was even said in, the original Planet of the Apes from, I think it came out in 1969. I forget the exact year, but, towards the end of the movie, one of the characters, Cornelius, he was reading from the scroll, and one thing he said while reading the scroll said, he hunts for sport, and indeed this man does. Esau Edom hunts for sport, Now, you do have certain Edomites that do, hunt for survival, because they're living off the land, they're living off the grid, understandable. But overall, Esau hunts for sport, man. This man, he's not afraid of blood, which you're going to bring that scripture out as well. So I'm going to finish this, and it says, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. And yeah, man, that's the difference between Jacob and Esau. Esau, man, he's a man of the field, as it says. He likes to hunt. He'll be outside. And, Jake like to chill. It's understandable. So now I'm going to jump to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 21. And verse 9. So let me see. I'm going to grab it. I have my scripts written down. I'm not going in any particular order, but, I'm just going to bring them out. So I'm just going to bring it. So this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 21, and verse 9. And it says, Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord, a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contemneth the rod of my son as every tree. And he that he hath given it to be furbished, that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened, and it is furbished, to give it into the hand of the slayer. And who is the slayer? Esau. This man loves to kill. And, that's part of this man's characteristics, man. He, like it says, he's a man in the field and a cunning hunter, man. And it shows. All you have to do is just watch, certain shows. One example, the TV show, Swamp People, where, you'll have, those Edomites down in, Louisiana and Texas in the swamps, hunting alligators, man. Like, come on, man. But again, this is this man's characteristics, man. The Lord blessed Esau with the sword, which, I forgot. I'm going to go back and grab that. Verse 12, and it says, crying, how, son of man, for it shall be upon my people, for it shall be upon all the princes of Israel. Terrors by reason of the sword shall be upon my people. Smite therefore upon thy thigh. And yeah, man, in this particular time that we're in, the Lord is going to unleash Esau, Edom on the 2/3, man. Primarily on them, but, Esau's going to be unleashed because, again, man, he doesn't have a long time left in his rulership, so he's pretty much going to wreak havoc on the earth. But how is he going to do that? By way of the sword, So I'm going to come back to the book of Genesis, chapter 27, and verse 38, just to give, a little bit of background, just a little bit. And this is Genesis 27 and 38, and it says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. This is the point, verse 40. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break the yoke from off his neck. And this is another point, verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. And yeah, man, Esau, has a perpetual hatred for the nation of Israel, man, because Jacob supplanted Esau not once but twice. This man willingly sold his birthright, for that red pottage, and then, Rebecca helped Jacob, supplant, that blessing from Esau again, so he's angry, he sold his birthright, which ultimately it was set up for, the nation of Israel to get the blessing anyway, but, that's just how the Lord wanted it to play out, but again, this man is angry, he has a perpetual hatred for us, so he, indeed, in these last days, he's going to want to slay us, So I'm going to jump back to the book of Ezekiel. I'm going to go to chapter 35 and verse 5. And it says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. And yeah, man, this is the characteristics of Esau Edom, man. He loves to shed blood, and if you think about it, he even eats his meat bloody, when he eats steak, how do they eat it, rare, medium rare, they don't like their meat fully cooked. They like, this is this man's characteristics, but again, this is how we know that this man, this is all talking about him, this man is a cunning hunter. He is a man. This man is the wicked, But again, he's going to be unleashed in these last days. He's going to seek to kill, as many Israelites as possible. He really wants to take us all out, but he can't, because the Lord has a remnant, being preserved, or that is going to be preserved during that particular time, man. So I'm going to jump to the book of Jeremiah, chapter 5, and verse 6, and it says, "Wherefore a lion out of the forest shall slay them, and a wolf of the evening shall spoil them. A leopard shall watch over their cities. Every one that goeth out thence shall be torn in pieces, because their transgressions are many, and their backslidings are increased." And yeah, man, pretty much this is going into, Israel being in a low estate, because as we know right now, who's watching, over us. And he mentioned, it's like there's three animals mentioned in this verse, a lion, a wolf, and a leopard, because lions, they're very fierce animals, man. They hunt in packs. Wolves also hunt in packs, man. But leopards, they hunt alone, but pretty much, the point I'm trying to make is, this is pretty much going into Esau, watching over us in the city, having a watchful eye over us, again, going into his surveillance systems, so forth and so on, so he's watching over us. But again, a point I'm making is that, when a leopard stalks his prey, it'll watch. Like one example I seen, over there in India, I forget which city it might have been, Delhi or New Delhi, because, I think they have deforestation going on over there as well, but, leopards, they'll pretty much watch over the cities, during the day. They may, just sit, in a particular spot and just watch, and then once the sun goes down, they'll go into the cities to hunt, But again, man, these are just, characteristics of this man being a hunter, man, because he watches us. This is why we're constantly being surveillanced, 24/7. There's cameras everywhere, there's microphones, this man is constantly watching us, So I'm going to go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 10, and verse 5, and it says, "O Assyrian, the rod of mine anger, and the staff in their hand is mine indignation. I will send him against an hypocritical nation, and against the people of my wrath will I give him a charge, to take the spoil, and to take the prey, and to tread them down like the mire in the streets." And yeah, man, if I'm not mistaken, because a brother asked me this, and if I remember correctly, the Assyrian that's talking about in verse 5, I think it may have been Shalmaneser. If not, a brother can correct me, but I think that was talking about him, But it can also be applied to Esau, Edom, in this current time that we're in, because again, the Lord is going to unleash Esau, man, and he's going to seek to wreak havoc, in these last days, because we clearly see, he's getting his device ready, his micro C-hip ready, he's getting those jabs ready for whatever disease he unleashes. He pretty much studied, on how he's going to play this thing out, So Esau's, he's going to unleash in this time. So I'm going to come to the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 16. I'm going to get verse 71, just straight to the point. It says, "They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoiling and destroying those that fear the Lord." And yeah, man, Esau's going to be like a madman, and he's not going to spare any, when that time comes, when the Lord pretty much gives him that green light, to do what he has to do before he's ultimately taken out of power, because he came into power by way of violence, and he's going to be taken out of power by way of violence, man, because again, he is a violent man, and he is a cunning hunter, man. because that's what he's going to do. You know, these militaries, they're going to go through houses, you know, pretty much searching for people, if not to take them, you know, and haul them off to, you know, these concentration camps. You know, they're going to, you know, execute them on sight, man. This is why you have, you know, certain of these law enforcement agencies and even the military doing these urban drills to pretty much, you know, police the cities, because that's ultimately what they're going to do, man. You know, so I'm going to end it on this. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 12 and verse 12. And it says, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth he hath but a short time." Yeah, man, this man doesn't have a long time to rule. Excuse me, Slakia. You know, he doesn't have a long time left to rule. You know, so the Lord is going to allow him to do what he has to do before he's ultimately taken out, man. And that's pretty much the point I want to make, that this man is indeed a cunning hunter, man. He hustles sport. You know, he loves to shed blood. You know, those are his characteristics. So, Lord willing, this lesson is edifying. It's like your Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who I learned this truth from, and I'd like to say peace and salutations unto the hopefully elect. Till the next time I see you, Shalom.